Start that. On my Twitter too. Sorry. Saying, playing the game, man. You know. So actually, all that happened here is, necessity's the mother of innovation. So we just come back up here to the rooftop. We're now compliant to SPD's order that we get off of the sidewalk and we get inside the building. So I can confirm to you that we're now 100% inside of the building and we're up here on the rooftop. See down there, that's Broadway and Pine, demonstrators there. It's Cal Anderson Park. This is the activity at the East Precinct when we were just down there. They're installing a new barricade over there at the Seattle Police at the East Precinct. There's a new barricade that's going in over there. So, well, yeah, I mean, this is what was told to us was that it was told to us under order of the mayor. I mean, you guys heard it there on the stream. The last time we didn't have the camera on, and what they said was this was now the final warning that if we did not get inside, we were just standing right there with the door open on the sidewalk. The door opens to the sidewalk, and I believe the lease actually extends out, but that's a whole nother thing. And so we were told if we did not get inside, that at this point we were going to be placed under arrest. The officer told us that under the mayor's order, that was what they were going to use to arrest, because there's no media allowed in here unless escorted by police. And now that's not even whatever. You guys heard that on the stream, so you guys can find the stream and you'll be able to see it. So we literally took the high road, and now we're up here on the roof. So continuing coverage here. We was actually going to take a break because we were sitting outside and actually chilling. We weren't going to come back live for a few hours. You know what I'm saying? Give an opportunity to cut up some of the footage and everything else. But, like I said, we've literally taken the high road here, and we're on the roof. We're inside the building. We're continuing our broadcast. And, I think that, all media has been kicked out. The only person that's left inside is Matt Markovich, who's downstairs. So me and Matt, Matt actually came in with us because Como got kicked out as well. They kicked out Como's photographer, but Matt was over there. Matt from Como was over there by our office, and I pulled Matt in over there where we were at. So Matt's still on the ground. I think he's doing some tweeting and things like that. He did some live stuff earlier, over his phone, but they kicked the Como 4 photographer out. Matt was left in here, And man, it was just Converge. Our office is right here, and Matt from Como. So you know what I'm saying. Our understanding is, so what happened is at 2 a.m. Mayor Durkin issued an order which basically created this Cal Anderson Park area, or Cal Anderson Park zone. And we're inside the zone. So there's two things here, right? There's the press. The rest of the press are right there on Broadway on the other side. We're behind the police line. So we're behind the police line. Well, where's he at? I don't know. So that's the police line, and that's where you see a lot of the reporters are right over there with the protesters. The protesters are there on Broadway. We're here on, this is 11th and Pine, and that is 12th and Pine. And that's the East Precinct right there, right? And so when you look at things, and that's fire station, Firehouse 25 up there. So what's going on is I'm not saying that other people aren't here. What I'm saying is our position of inside. So they've created a zone here, right? And inside the zone where we're at, that's Cal Anderson Park, that's the grass play field, and that is the East Precinct. We can just see the side of it. You see some of the vehicles right there. This is the area that's inside of the zone. And inside of the zone, the police are saying that no media inside. And also what we saw happen here is like Matt from Como, his cameraman got kicked out. So his cameraman is actually outside the zone. So now there is media right there. Right there is Broadway and Pine. So that's Broadway and Pine right there. And you see a lot of media. There's a lot of media that's right there on Broadway and Pine. And that's where they're reporting from. Where we're reporting from is right here inside the actual zone. Inside the actual zone. And you know, I mean, what was told to us is that under order of the mayor, that all media, no media is allowed unless escorted by police. So the thing is this is where we work. You know what I'm saying? This is where we work. You know, for example, when we talk about Matt, Como's offices are over there. What's up, Matt? Como's offices are over there, kind of Lower Queen Anne. Then Cairo's over there. King is over by the stadiums. They have to travel to the CHOP for coverage. Our office is literally, it's literally in the CHOP, and you know, it's just an alley that separates the Stout building from the East Precinct. So this is our place of work. This is our actual place of work. You guys have been seeing us, do our morning show. Those that follow us on the morning update show, you see us every day. It's been plenty of times right here, exact location where you've seen people walk by and we interview them on the street. For example, when the Woodtops went in on the barricades, SDOT director Zimbabwe happened to be walking by. And we interviewed him right there because this is our studio location. There's a few times we caught Chief Best during this. There's a few times Seattle SPU. We've talked to them. Chief Scoggins, plenty of times, because that's our home broadcast location. These are our offices right here. And so it's just the normal course of our work that we're right here. And, we're it's wild. And so, like I said, for for the officers to tell us that, one, we couldn't stand on the sidewalk, you know, I mean, but two, even beyond that, so a sidewalk, no sidewalk or whatever, the bigger issue is what they said, and like I said, it's on the other stream. One of these ones here is that, you know, it's by order of the mayor. No media in here unless accompanied by an officer. So for us, they told us to go back inside of our building. And so that's exactly what we've done. We've gone back inside of our building. No one said that we couldn't come up on the roof. We'll give you a shot right here. That's the grassy area where the tents were at. That is where the riot kitchen. It looks like they're disassembling what was referred to as the riot kitchen. We got a lot of most likely Seattle Parks Department employees right down there. Yeah, the tents are gone. As far as somebody's asked a question, been through. I don't know if on that side they whatchamacallit. I don't know if on that side over there they threw the tents away, because that was kind of deemed a different population than the protesters that were out here in front of the East Precinct. As we see now, more of the police barricade is being put into place. The police are now putting their own barricade over in front of the East Precinct. We don't have a good enough vantage point from here to know the total orientation of the barricade that the Seattle Police Department has put in front of the East Precinct. But this is what we can tell you, is that we saw part of it being built earlier. So SPD is actually putting a barricade over there in front of the East Precinct now. It looks like, as far as the ecology blocks, or we might say the cement barricades, the only remaining ones that were in our line of sight, and even now up here, are on 10th Avenue. These are the 10th Avenue ecology blocks. That green bunker, or that green container right there, that's the container where a lot of the art was put into. So yeah, and so what I'm explaining to people here is that there is the media zone of what's been created is right there. Our offices are inside of the CHOP, and so we're just broadcasting from our office as usual. At least we were, and then we got several warnings from SPD. So there's quite a bit. Hey, Matt, where are you guys set up out there? Does Como have anybody outside on the... Right, so talking to Matt from Como is here, but they're on the other side of the police line right there. You see what I'm saying? Almost all the news channels are right there on the other side of the yellow line, right? And yeah, the zoom on here isn't so great, but so there's quite a few, and there's quite a few live streamers that are down there as well. And also for people who are looking to see, people who are looking to see what's going on there. There's been protesters there for the last 2 hours on Broadway and Pine. There's a lot of streams that are happening right there. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. People are still broadcasting. It's just that the thing is that they're outside of the zone, right? And the point that I was trying to make, and so much other stuff to talk about, but I'll go over this again, is that our office, you going home?
Try number 2.
All right, man. Yeah, try number 2. Our office, our production studio is actually inside the zone. And so, I mean, the media was kicked out of this Cal Anderson Park zone. And that's why I said I've got Matt over here from Como with me, but his cameraman was kicked out. And then we were given several warnings here. And it goes back to the order. So anyways, I mean, nonetheless, the whole point is that, you know what I'm saying, best of both worlds. and that we're off the street. We're compliant with SPD's order, and so we're off the street, and and we're up on the roof, and we're still broadcasting. So, you know what I'm saying? That's no longer an issue. We don't anticipate it to be an issue. We did lose some of our viewpoints as far as on the ground, but we've clearly gained an aerial view up here. So, anyways, this is Cal Anderson Park, right? And we've seen a metamorphosis with the park over the last 2 weeks. At one point, Cal Anderson was full of tents. Across the western border right there, the western fence line, and some right here onto the southern fence line, and as well as the northern fence line right there. There was tents and mutual aids, all kinds of stuff going on. And Cal Anderson Park right now is clear. Behind that is the grassy area. This was the grassy area where the homeless population and the unhoused, they had an area that was right over there. Lots of tents. We saw the tents start to be reduced. The tents actually started to be reduced over the last 4 or 5 days. But as we can see right now, I mean, there's hardly any trace of any tents that might have been there. It looks like they're disassembling what was called the riot kitchen. And then right there, it's kind of hard to see with this much zoom. Right behind that is that garden. You guys might have heard about a garden that people have been talking about. The garden is one of the things that's supposed to stay. It's our understanding when we looked at the document that the chief put out, or that the mayor put out. There on the street, you see orange cones around it. That's a mural, a Black Lives Matter mural. There was lots of discussion between protesters and SDOT over the last few days as to what would happen with that mural. My colleague talked to Sam Zimbabwe earlier and said that basically they're trying to figure it out. But as for now, it has some orange cones around it. And that's what we see right there. That's our fair city right there, the downtown in the background, the western view down Pine. So, back down there on the street level, I said what we saw down there was they were painting the precinct. I mean, and they've moved fast. The SPD is moved extremely fast from this morning at about 4:50, 5 o'clock when the police lines showed up, all the way through sweeping through the chop. It took them about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to go from the north direction to south, from Pine over to Pike, and push the protesters out. Our understanding is at this point that there's 31 protesters that have been arrested. 35, okay, so 35 protesters. I think there was some arrests up there on Broadway and Pine, so that might have increased the numbers as far as the number of people that were arrested out of the action this morning. From there, and approximately around the same time, maybe just a few minutes later, they began to clear Cal Anderson Park. And that's when the action went into place to clear Cal Anderson Park. And we saw that occur as well. And now down there on the ground level, to be honest with you, in front of the East Precinct, all of the ecology blocks are gone, and all these other things, they're out. They're no longer there. Hold on one second. What we're seeing here read Twitter. Where should I go on Twitter? All right, that's fine. So this is what they're saying for me to read Twitter right here. Says we are not limiting Converge ability to broadcast. Misunderstanding in the midst of active fluid scene. Our public affairs unit is working to provide additional access to media concerned about safety. Media, please meet Sergeant Truscott on 12th and Pine shortly. So I guess we go out.
When did that come out?
They tweeted this 5 minutes ago. And so the people there, they just told me to we're going to lose our signal going down though, huh? I don't know. We see. You going to go with me, Matt?
Yeah.
Were you expecting to be here this long this morning? What's up, OG?
I like how Randy decided she would call. I would call instead. 659 beat up chop is number. I guess.
We'll see. So we're gonna go down. I very well might lose the signal here as we get on the elevator, and they're asking us to go to 12th and Pine.
Did they tweet that directly to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we might lose you here. If we lose you here in the elevator, then we're gonna restart the stream when we get back down.
Good.
Sure. All right. Yep. Oh. Yeah. I'll follow you.
No, I'm
Go
going
together.
right here. Get my back.
Okay. No, we'll see what happens. Who am I looking for? Truscott. You ever find Truscott?
I don't know where she is.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit right here. 12th and Pine.
What are you doing?
Your Twitter tweeted me, told me to come here.
Who did?
It's your Twitter, at SPD, meet Trescott.
Okay, so she's coming right over here.
Okay, I'm following.
What's your first name so I can tell her?
My first name is Omari.
Okay. Right here.
All right.
Make her phone call.
Sure, no problem. I mean, I was chilling. I went up on the roof. And then I got a tweet from Seattle Police Department telling me to come to 12th and Pine and meet Trescott.
Just understand, we're under the orders that nobody's supposed to be.
I don't have an issue. And that's why I was saying that's why we were chilling. And this is Matt from Como, so we've been together here the whole time. And so we just went out. We followed your instructions, so we just went up on the roof. And now I got this tweet here that said come down. That's the only reason why we're back down.
I don't know. Yeah, they should have. Miscommunications make things difficult. So no worries. I just got to check and see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so she's 2 out. 2 minutes about.
Okay,
3 minutes.
sure, no problem. We'll just chill out right
That's
here.
Sergeant Trescott, okay?
Sergeant Trescott,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. So she gets here on the sidewalk.
Yeah, no, we'll wait right here. No problem. He's the guy in the street.
Hey guys. So Alex here, Bob. Yeah, bring it over.
Nah, man, Matt's like, this guy's a wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He always got something good to say that I'm learning, so. So what we're doing right here is we were up on the roof on the Stout building, and we got a message over Twitter to come back down and talk to the PIO, Public Information Officer for the Seattle Police Department. So we've complied with that request. We're waiting for the sergeant right here on 12th and Pine. Been a long day, man. This is where this all started at 4:30 this morning. I don't even. What time is it now? It's 9 hours, huh? Thank you. I appreciate it. So this is the East Precinct here. told by one officer I could come down here.
Okay.
I was told by an
Sir,
officer.
I'm telling you something different. You need to either walk on out or you're going to be placed under arrest right now. This is all you got.
BZ 2 slaps right
Once
there.
again, like I just got done saying, I was talking to another officer.
Photographer there.
To walk down here, okay? He just told me 2 seconds ago. I didn't get. Did I speak to him? Did I ignore you? I told you not to stop.
Photographer there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Where are you getting this man?
Yeah. So again, it looks like I said, 4:30 this morning, 4:45. This is kind of where it all started, right here, where the police.
You can walk in to where we are. So, but I don't know.
So it's 4:30, 4:45 this morning, right here. This is where the police formed their line. This is where they, I mean, man, $1 million question. You feel me? That's a whole nother issue right here. You know what I'm saying? There goes another press. There goes a press. There goes a press. There goes a photographer. You know, busy photographer. There goes a photographer right there. But you see, he's escorted out. So that's now AP in here. What's up, man?
Dr. Omari, I just want to tell you you're a great journalist, and you've been so helpful to the Associated Press, helping us be on top of things and get that word out. I just wanted to say you're just a great journalist, and I've enjoyed working with you.
Oh man, dang dog, bro. I appreciate it. That's there you go. There you go. It's from the Aaron. He's from the Associated Press. Who's out here? And yeah, now I don't know why now BZ, a photographer, was escorted out. We got more and more media now who are in. So, and I'm the only one who has an office right here.
Hi, how's it going? Good to see you. We need to be up on the sidewalk. Are you Omari?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
How are you, Sergeant?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I know media was asking to be let into the perimeter, which we said we're okay with.
but we just don't want people wandering around because of the heavy equipment, and then they're picking up like the big blocks and moving them around. So we just want to make sure that everybody is contained in the same location and not wandering around and putting themselves
I'm Aaron
at
with
risk.
Associated Press. Nice to
Okay.
meet you. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
no,
if you
Mike.
just get up on the sidewalk while they're all moving around and stuff, no problem with you guys being here. We just don't want anybody to get hurt. So,
Yeah, I mean, we were just standing in front of our office, which is right there in the Stout building. You see the building there with the guy at the door? That's where we were standing. That's when the officer came and he said his final warning that we were going to be arrested. If we didn't go inside, he kept telling us a few times. And we're legitimately there. We broadcast our show. Your chief did an interview there.
I saw.
Exactly. Chief Best, she did 2 interviews right there, and a few other people. I mean, we followed all the direction of officers as they given it to us. There's not an officer who said that, since 4:30 this morning, we followed all the directions and everything, and it's on the stream. Been real respectful and everything else, and not trying to impede the police in doing their job at all. You know what I'm saying? And really just doing the stream.
My apologies. I think there was a misunderstanding about where the press could and couldn't be.
Okay.
And I don't think anybody understood that your office and business is actually located there.
Okay.
So I work in public affairs, so I know
Right.
where your office is located. I'm familiar with you, so I think there was some miscommunication. And as soon as I saw your tweet saying that you had been threatened to be arrested, I was like, let me go down there, handle this. We need to have the media having a space to work in where they're safe. They can continue broadcasting and not be either put in harm's way or impeding any order that's given. So I think, yes, that it was a misunderstanding that they did not realize that was your office and business. So I was watching your live stream. I know you weren't wandering around.
Right.
So,
I mean,
I appreciate that.
all the whole time we were here before when the Western Barricade was here. Now today we followed all instructions by the police in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I addressed you directly. And
Right.
I'm here having this conversation with you. Sorry. I don't
Okay. No. It's fine. All right. So what you're saying then is this is the southeast corner of 12th and Pine.
Yeah,
Believe me, I've been calling these corners for a while now on these streams. So you know what I'm saying?
We're at the northeast corner.
Yeah, the northeast. You got me. Yeah. So we're on the northeast corner here on 12th and Pine. So this is the media area.
Here, I was so disoriented because it looks so different than I've ever seen it before. But yeah, this is the northeast corner of 12th and Pine, and we're okay to be here, broadcasting, filming. We just don't want people out in the street or walking around in the perimeter because, as you see, these people are not paying attention to what is going on because they have to operate such big equipment and heavy lifting and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
is that fair?
That's fair. I'll let somebody know when we return to our office.
Okay.
Since it's right over there.
If they want to stand outside their door, that's your place of business, and broadcast and not be wandering around in there, they're welcome to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, I think it was a misunderstanding.
Okay.
So.
I mean, that's fine, Sergeant. I appreciate you coming over here. I mean, ultimately, we just wanted to be able to turn the cameras on. And, it's the gift that keeps on giving because now everybody's here. KUOW, there's NBC News that's here. You know what I'm saying? Como's got their crew in here, the rest of Como News. So all you guys owe me a beer later, huh? We'll get...
I was going to say, Omari. I was sitting having coffee, and I was watching your feed. I saw they were harassing you about filming, and I'm wondering. And then I tuned in, and I saw you in the elevator, and then I'm like, oh, press at 12th and Pine 8 minutes ago, and I think it's because of you. So
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to ever be the only camera. I don't ever want to be the only view. We want to be able to open up access to as many people as possible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how it's supposed to be. You know, good to see you, Casey.
Likewise, man. Good to see you.
It's
I saw the scuffle earlier. I'm glad you're broadcasting it.
Yeah, that's Casey from KUOW. Another guy we've been out here with, man, for a long time as well. I said this is the NBC crew out here. This is NBC News and MSNBC. This is their crew. Of course, the AP here. You know what I'm saying? We've got Coma. Are you reunited and it feels so good?
I feel good with my
You're reunited with your cameraman and it feels so good, huh? We've got more media that are actually coming down here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say this: that like, man, hey, we got ground rules, man. We got ground rules. Huh? You guys can get right here, man. You can get my spot. There you go. You take this spot right here. What I'll tell you is is that the freedom of the press, and I've been here for so many different networks that have been here, and for one way or another, a lot of people couldn't get access and everything else. So it's been a continuous thing. I mean, when the protesters were here and they wouldn't allow access, and man, we can go and talk to them. And now here today, when access wasn't being allowed for our colleagues that are over here, representing all kinds of different networks and all kinds of different viewpoints and everything else. You see what I'm saying? I mean, man, I'll say the same thing. I just try to call it down the middle, and when different, like I said, when the CHOP was here, literally hours ago, and we'd see that access was blocked. It's like, hey, man, you know what? Guys need to really, have some kind of deference for freedom of the press. I mean, it's important. And so now, like I said, here you go. And now, irregardless of whatever network that's your preference, whatever viewpoint is your preference, whatever angle is your preference, now the media is being represented here from different outlets and everything else. They're all now being represented here at the same time. And so, here it is. This is, man, and this is, this wasn't even what we started out for here today. But, this is where we end up, and we at City Hall. But yeah, I mean, man, for Seattle people, that the freedom of press is something that we learned at James A. Garfield High School. I'm a writer for the Garfield Messenger. You know what I'm saying? And so this is a moot issue now. We're gonna leave this here for now. I'm not gonna sit here and be talking about access and all this stuff for the whole rest of the day. But all I'm saying is that, man, pushing the point that transparency and something like this for the people of Seattle, for the citizens of Seattle, here in the Emerald City, then it's like, man, people need to see from all these different networks or whoever your preference is or anything else exactly what's occurring. And so, sometimes it's okay to actually push the line. And we didn't say anything on that over there. And the last time we Scott pushed the line, and whoever, that's the thing about some of these rights. Sometimes people come out on one side or the other, but man, the freedom of the press, man. So, and voila, like I say, this is the end result. People are represented here of all kinds of different viewpoints. So, anyways, glad that everybody is here. And the show goes on. So what we see right here is the continuing to build the barricade over here at the build a barricade around the East Precinct. It looks to just be a few feet off of, or less than a foot actually, off of the sidewalk So you could imagine that there's the building, there's about the width of the sidewalk, and then maybe about 6 inches in between the sidewalk and where this new set of barricades is coming in. We've seen that early on. I tell you, it made quick work of the CHOP camp. Once the protesters were pushed out of the CHOP, then immediately after the building was secured, SDOT came in, and it looks like Seattle Parks came in, SPU came in, and immediately got to work on dismantling what was left of the actual CHOP camp. Lots of tents over there, different effects, personal items, things like everything that goes kind of you would imagine that would be in a camped area. So all of those things were there. They came through and removed those items, backed up a garbage truck, threw stuff away into the garbage truck, and then the painters came. And so now here's the painters came and started painting over the graffiti that was on the wall. We're waiting to see if they're going to bring a new sign or if they're going to pressure wash this sign. It right now says the Seattle People's Department, East Precinct. They're pressure washing signs over there. We just saw that. And they've also been cutting down some of the artwork and things like that. And my understanding is that the boards are staying up for now. I mean, they're actually putting new boards up. They very well might be replacing the old boards, and then they're putting in the new boards over there. We talked to Chief Best earlier. She said that she could not give a specific timeline as to when the East Precinct would reopen. One thing she said is they need a further inspection into the precinct, so there's not a specific timeline. And again, like I could tell you this morning, everything moved really quickly. The police line was right there, kind of where the front of that dump truck is right now. And at the time, the cement barricades were here throughout the street, and the officer cited that the mayor had signed an order at 2 a.m. and that order, amongst other things, basically declared the space, and I'm paraphrasing, so I want you guys can go there to, I think it's spdblotter.seattle.gov, so you can get the exact language. But basically, that it was an illegal assembly, or it would be an illegal assembly. So SPD gave a few minutes for people to disperse, and now this is 12th Avenue, and now just down here, are you recording?
Yes, sir. You're good.
Okay, thank you. So, and just down here, this is Pine, and so you had officers approaching from the west on Pine, and you had officers approaching on the north on 12th. And so, as part of the CHOP camp was right there. You see where the guy in the orange shirt is. That's where the CHOP camp kind of ended on its northern front. So you had officers come up Pine, and you had officers coming from the north on 12th, and the convergence point was right over here, and all the officers came together, and the bike officers came out in front for the most part, and they did their they used the bikes as a barricade and pushed direction, move back, and they did that for about 10 feet. They'd stop for about 2 minutes, and then move back until they pushed all of the protesters down to Pike Street. And so the protesters who were there were pushed down to Pike Street. That's for people who are not familiar with Seattle. Let me see what we can do here. That the red lights right there, that is Pike Street. So basically push the protesters from Pine 1 block south to Pike. And we can see that there is a still bicycle officer presence right there. Right. So yeah, so what we're hearing over here is some of the stuff that's in the windows there that SPD doesn't plan to throw it away. So this is why they brought extra boards. Is as for today, SPD is removing these boards and will basically catalog them. Maybe very much what you might find them maybe today in that storage facility that SDOT created. So they're cataloging it with the rest of the art that that has been in the area. So these boards right here, they're going to take these out and catalog them. And this is why remember I was just telling you that they're replacing and putting up new boards. And we see the new boards going up right now.